Hi everyone, thanks for watching Access Hockey MI, the living room series. I'm joking. It's
Welcome
not a series. We're just in a different spot. Anyways, so today we're going to talk about two guys on the Griffins currently that we think people count out too soon. Why we think that, what we think they're going to do for the team, what they've already done, and kind of going from there. So why don't you start us off with number one?
Number one is Michael Rasmussen. 9th overall, 2017, spent the entire season last season with the Detroit Red Wings.
62 games.
62 games, in that he had 18 points. And a lot of that is, I'm going to just preface this by saying some people forget this, is that it was because of a contractual thing with juniors that he had to be there. It was either there or back to juniors. So that's just kind of why he was there. It wasn't because they thought he was ready right away.
They just wanted to use him and utilize him because they picked him.
Yeah,
so
and he made good use of his time, for sure. So this season, he's actually in Grand Rapids, which he's thankful for. In 6 games, he's got roughly 7 points.
He has been a scratch recently, so we haven't been able to see him super recent, but in the games that we've seen, we've noticed mega improvements in his gameplay. And me personally, it's so much better to see them play in front of me versus reading how they play, because to me, I see his face when he's at a face-off or when he's in a line change or when he's doing anything on the ice.
Position of his skate.
He is such a serious, he is a go-getter on the ice.
Man. He's all business. But with him being in the AHL, and he said it himself that he actually kind of wished he spent his first season there, just the development part of it is really crucial for him, and he takes that seriously, which is one of the reasons I don't think people should count him out quite yet. I think with having Zadina and Veleno on the same team right now, obviously with all the other ones, they're heavily talked about. Rasmussen is as well, but just not as much. I don't think people are expecting as much.
I was going to say, I think people stopped talking about him because he went back down to the Griffins, and so I think once Red Wings fans see that, and a lot of Red Wings fans are guilty of not paying enough attention to the developmental league of the Grand Rapids Griffins.
Or getting too impatient too quick and then forgetting.
Right, so we're just here to remind you, just don't count Rasmussen out. He's still a great powerhouse of a player, and he's going to do us a lot of good. So that's why he's in the AHL currently. So development, it was contractual last year for him to start with the Red Wings.
Lots of paper pushing.
Why do you think he shouldn't be counted out quite yet?
He is, I would say, out of everyone that I've seen so far this season and all the draft picks, he is extremely focused. And he's got an incredible work ethic. And that's something that is going to take him very far. He's the guy.
It's hard to find. You can't just create work ethic. Like, you have it and you can learn it, but if you naturally have it,
it's all the more power to you. And even talking to Coach Simon a few times about him, he's expressed how much he wants that to rub off on the other players, just because Ras comes to work. He gets his workouts in, he gets his job done, and he knows exactly where he wants to improve, but he's also teachable. He's willing to grow. He wants that criticism to figure out how he can do better, and that is so critical in development.
Yeah, and that just proves that he shouldn't be counted out because he's a naturally gifted player as well as has the work ethic of a naturally gifted player and someone who just works hard to do what he needs to do to get the job done. So that's why we think our opinion is supported that you shouldn't count him out yet because he is a leader on the ice. He's a great workhorse. He's going to get the job done, and when he develops a little more, he's going to be a fantastic asset.
Now, why would you say, in your opinion, is he NHL worthy? Obviously not this season because he's still developing, but where does he fit in the NHL?
I think I think he'll be NHL worthy for sure. I think he's a big body. He's heavier. He has that hockey sense that you always look for, making plays, also being gritty in front of the net. He's really great in front of the net. He just always is able to get the job done. And that really is the end of it, honestly. Like, if you can find a naturally gifted player who can just drive and get the job done.
He's naturally competitive, too. So any team he's on, whether he ends up with Detroit long-term or not, and that's not to say all these guys, they might never actually end up with Detroit.
They could go somewhere else.
Exactly. We've already seen some interesting moves happening, so nothing's off the table right now. But with him specifically, he's got, like you said, that hockey sense and the maturity. He carries himself really, really well. He's a very calming presence in the locker room and on the ice. He controls it, and he controls his emotions, which in today's game, if you're getting the snot beat out of you along the boards and you can keep your cool,
more power to you.
Exactly.
So the second guy we really wanted to talk about, ever since this season, I feel like he's stepped it up even another level.
That was possible.
Is Matt Puempel. Matt Puempel is someone I think everybody forgets about, and he shouldn't, because he was drafted 24th overall in 2011 by Ottawa. So he's been in the system.
Ottawa could use him right now.
You can't have him. So he's been 3 seasons with the Griffins, and last season he ended 62 games with 50 points. So he contributed postseason 5 games, 4 points. So he's always out there getting points. This season so far, when this video is filmed, about 10 games, about 11 points so far already.
This is the about hands, guys.
But you see him on the ice, and he's just like, and I think him and Ras have a very similar work ethics too. But Puempel, he knows what to do with the puck. He gets the puck, you know he's very dangerous. He's going to score. He's going to get that wrist.
Such a sniper shot, too. He has got such precision when shooting. It's incredible. I can't believe he picks the corners he does sometimes. Like, how did he get that?
Yeah. He's a great winger for any person on his team. And it's just a great asset to have on a team to know you can put him out there on a power play and you can get a point from it. He's had quite a few power play goals, I think, already this season.
He's had a hat trick already as well.
And I feel like he's come out of the gate so much quicker this season than last season. And it helps with clicking with line mate, Chris Terry, who's also a vet in the AHL. But why do you think that Puempel's still in the AHL? Because with all these stats, with all this greatness he has, why is he still there?
I would say it's because of the heavy front end talent, and by that I mean since he was drafted in 2011, just like fans forget that these players exist sometimes, and it's no discredit to them. Puempel's an incredible skater, so it has nothing to do with him. But I think with that, organizations change, leadership changes, and scouts change, and that they just move on from what was. That's not the game they're looking for anymore. That's not the player they're looking for anymore. And a lot of teams, I think, want instant success. They want to get that kid that can get out there. You're number one. And Puempel, though he's developed, I think that's a lot of the reason why he's not getting pulled and he's not getting a permanent place.
I completely agree. Just because we already saw a transaction this season with Colin Campbell, who had been with the Griffins for, 6-7 seasons?
Yeah, it was a very long time.
He left, and I strongly believe it's because there's just not enough room with the development the Red Wings have right now. We have so many guys coming up that are studs. They're just great, talented players who are going to make something one day. So that means the vets start getting inched out. But what the Red Wings and the Griffins really love is also that veteran companionship. So that's where Puempel comes in. However, if he keeps producing like this, if he keeps pushing like this,
he's still very young too. He's got several years left in him, and I think he could compete at the NHL level if given a chance. I
honestly think right now, he is NHL ready.
NHL
I think it would take a couple of games to get himself into it, but I think he's got the mindset of an NHL player.
And the Wings have given him a chance, but just like Campbell, which he's in the Avalanche system now, they see that opportunity. And Puempel, we've got him for one more season after this, but they see that opportunity. They want the NHL, you know, and there's nothing wrong with the AHL. It's a professional league. It's an amazing league, which is why we
very
cover
important
it.
League,
But these players, not all of them want to remain. Like we've kept Brian Lashaw for now 11 seasons. He's comfortable now being that veteran defenseman who guides the younger guys. That's where he's at. He's okay with it. Puempel, I think, is too competitive to let that be the end of his story.
Yeah, I think he wants to go further, and that leads me to believe, and I think you too, that if he doesn't fit in with the Red Wings organization, an NHL team is going to pick him up, and he's going to be a thorn in our side.
And we're going to know exactly when he's on the ice, it's going to hurt.
We're going to be like, oh, it's going in the corner. Yep, corner. Thanks. Yep,
hat trick.
That's where
good job.
So these are the two guys, just two of the big team,
and
two. I mean, there's quite a few guys on the team right now that I think people quickly just. He's not doing anything. He's never going to do anything.
They do that with our first rounders now.
They do it now. So
stop being like that.
Don't be that way. Don't be that guy.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, so these two players are the ones that we wanted to talk about today. But let us know in the comments who you think has been counted out, or maybe who you've been guilty of counting out, just because that happens to us too.
Oh yeah.
And then we have to check ourselves.
Then we have to do a video and then check our hearts.
So let us know who you think. Comment below. Share with all your friends. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.